perform magic. Because we know every prophet of God is given a miracle. Nabi Musa had a miracle, Nabi Isa had a miracle, and Rasulullah had a miracle. Each miracle relates to the power of their people. Nabi Isa, his miracle was medicine. Why? Because there were many doctors in his time, many high physicians. These doctors, nobody could mess with them, nobody could match them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to prove Jesus is a prophet. How did he do this? Can a doctor give eyesight back to the blind? Could a doctor raise the dead and make them alive? Could a doctor cure the leper? No. The doctor himself would put up his hand high and say, I can't restore the eyesight of somebody who is blind. I can't raise somebody who is dead and make them alive. Nor can I cure someone who has leprosy. Because you know, in those days, leprosy is one of those diseases. Nobody gets near you when you have it. What did Allah do? He gave Nabi Isa the miracle of being able to cure the leper, being able to give eyesight back to the blind, and being able to give the dead, give them life. Rasulullah, what was his miracle? His miracle was the Quran. Why? Because the Arabs were known to have been the greatest poets. Nobody could come near them when it came to poetry. Therefore, if Rasulullah's words were truly from Allah, he would have needed to have had a message that could defeat their poetry. Because in Arabia you had poets who nobody could come near. People like Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira were influential personalities that they could listen to a piece of poetry and then give it back to you within a split second. Imagine how high you are. That imagine now I come, I give you 10 lines of poetry, you reply back to me with those 10 lines in a split second. Walid ibn al-Mughira was able to do this. When Walid ibn al-Mughira heard Rasulullah one day reciting the Quran, he went back to Abu Jahl and he said, Oh Abu Jahl, the words of Muhammad are not the words of a normal human being. Because I am the greatest of the poets of Arabia. But his words, they defy me in a way which I cannot answer back to him. Abu Jahl said to him, are you now going to be another one of those who has been affected by Muhammad's magic? Leave the path and remain as influential as you are. His famous lines in the Quran, قال إن هذا إلا سحر يؤثر إن هذا إلا قول بشر. These are just the words of a magician, he said about the words of Rasulullah. Nabi Musa's miracle was his magic. Because Fir'aun had the magicians. Nobody could come near those magicians. These magicians, in the same way we have an auditorium here alongside us, these magicians would stand in the middle of an auditorium. They would have with them their stick. The stick would be made out of mercury. You know mercury in thermometers? Mercury would be in the middle of the stick. Mercury, if you place it towards a certain sunlight, it will look like it's changing shape. So because it looks like it's changing shape, what does it do? It gives the impression to the person who's seeing it, it gives them the impression that it's a snake. It's a real snake. Likewise, what happened was, Pharaoh said, Moses, if you are truly a prophet of God, I am your external opposition. I am an Egyptian, you are an Israelite. My people can perform magic like nobody. They can defeat anybody they want. Come forward with your magic now and let's see what your God can do. Nabi Musa came, Fir'aun organized like a promotion. You see like MGM Grand and Madison Square Gardens and all of these places. You find the same promotion. He has bought the promotion. Everybody was sitting down. Everybody got their place. Musa against 3 magicians. 3 of them standing there, Musa next to them. Nabi Musa said, you are our external opposition. What do you want to do? They said, listen, you put forward your magic so we can finish you. So he said to them, no, you put forward your magic. So they came forward with their stick. They put forward their stick. The stick looked like it changed shape into a snake. Nabi Musa, Allah had given him the miracle. What did he do? Allah gave him the miracle and gave the power as well to Harun to be his advisor against Fir'aun. Because Harun, Nabi Musa, what did he say about him? He said, قَالَ رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي. اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي, what does it mean? Many of us in this hall have said this line before. But many of us don't know what we mean when we say, Ishrah li sadri. Ishrah li sadri means, Ya Allah, give me the strength and the patience in whatever I'm going to face. Make my breast expand. Meaning what? Meaning let my soul be open to pressure. وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي. Ya Allah, make my task an easy task. And then what? وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي. Ya Allah, when I face Fir'aun, I want my tongue to be sharp. Because they say that Nabi Musa, his tongue was eloquent, but Fir'aun's tongue was even sharper. And so he said, وَاجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي هَارُونَ أَخِي. Ya Allah, I want you to make a wazir. A wazir means what? Somebody who will be the strength of my message. Who? Harun, my brother. Notice how Nabi Musa cannot choose his successor after him. A prophet of God cannot choose their successor. A prophet of God can ask Allah only to choose the successor. Allah replied, قَدْ أُوتِيتَ سُؤْلَكَ يَا مُوسَى. I have answered your prayer, Musa. Harun came, Musa came, the magicians were there. When the magicians were there, they came forward. They put down their stick, it turned into the shape of a snake. Musa put down his stick, it became a snake. Look at the difference. One looked like a snake because magic makes you think something is real. Whereas the other one, his actually became a snake. What did his snake do? His snake ate their stick straight away. What did these magicians do straight away? They went straight down into sujood. Why? Listen, why? Because they said, Amanna bi Rabbi Musa wa Harun. Meaning what? Meaning we now believe in the Lord of Musa and the Lord of Harun. I want you to bear this point in mind. Why? Notice that when the magician went down in sujood and he recited his shahada, he made sure he said the name of the prophet and the wasi of that prophet. He could have easily said, Amanna bi Rabbi Musa and stopped. No. Amanna bi Rabbi Musa wa Harun. Why? Because a prophet of God, if you don't believe in his successor, it means you don't believe in him as well. They could have stopped, but they said, Amanna bi Rabbi Musa wa Harun. So what happened? Fir'aun came up to them. When Fir'aun came up to them, he said to them, he said, are you going to go against me and I am your Lord? They said, yes, we are. What did he do? He crucified them. He cut their hands and he cut their feet. That's why Fir'aun, for Musa and Harun, was the first stage of this comparison. What was he? External opposition. Number two, Musa and Harun didn't just face external opposition. They faced internal opposition as well. Meaning what? Sometimes the opposition I face is not from my people. Sometimes I face opposition from my very own. Meaning what? Meaning Musa had a cousin and Harun had a cousin by the name of Qarun. Qarun was Musa and Harun's cousin, but he was jealous of their success. Why are they prophets of God and I am not? Why is this the case? Qarun was a very rich man and he thought his wealth could destroy Nabi Musa. Can you imagine your own cousin, flesh and blood, would be one of the people who opposes your message? Your own cousin. So what happened was, Qarun came, he wanted to damage Nabi Musa's reputation. How? He saw this lady. He said to her, come here. Do you want some money? She said, how? He said to her, whenever Musa gives a lecture, I want you to stand in the middle of his lecture one day and say that he committed adultery with you. Qarun, his own cousin, is his internal opposition. He said to her, Musa gives a lecture, because Nabi Musa used to give lecture to the people. He said, as soon as Musa gives a lecture, I want you to go and stand in the middle of the lecture and say, that man committed adultery with me. She said, no problem, give me the money. He gave her the money. Nabi Musa was giving his lecture. He was standing there giving his lecture. All of a sudden, what happened? All of a sudden, this girl came. Nabi Musa was giving, she said, Musa, you are the man who committed adultery with me. Nabi Musa looked at her and he said, how much has Qarun paid you? That's it. Straight away. Because you are here dealing with a man who receives communication from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you really think you're going to defeat him? He said to her, who paid you, Qarun? She said, yes. He said, okay. He asked Allah, he said, Ya Allah, Qarun is an opposition to me and my brother Harun. He's an internal opposition. Ya Allah, destroy him. What did Allah do to Qarun? It shows you, however much money you have in this world, or at any time, many Fir'auns came, and many Qaruns came, and many Fir'auns died, and many Qaruns died. Why? Use your wealth not to make you arrogant, use your wealth to make you humble. Because those who use their wealth to make them arrogant will one day become a Fir'aun who drowned, or will become a Qarun. Do you know what happened to Qarun? The earth began to suck him in. The earth sucked him in. As it was sucking him in, he was going down, he would call out, Musa, help me. Musa, help me. Nabi Musa never helped him until eventually he was destroyed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to Nabi Musa about this. He said to him, oh Musa, can I tell you something? He said to him, tell me, oh my Lord. He said to him, oh Musa, Qarun, I would have saved him if he once while he was drowning said, Ya Allah, save me. Ya Allah, save me. But he was so arrogant, he would not admit I was more powerful than him. So he was calling you, but would not call me to help him. If he called me once, I would have even saved him. Therefore, Nabi Musa and Harun, number one, they faced external opposition. Remember, we're comparing their lives with Imam Ali and Rasulullah. Number two, internal opposition. Number three, their relationship got tested in a real harsh way at a certain moment in their life. When? Someone will ask, when did their relationship get tested? Are you telling me Imam Ali and Nabi Muhammad and Harun and Musa, their relationships both got tested? I thought they were close. I thought they were best friends. Harun and Musa got a relationship tested when? When Nabi Musa came back from Mount Sinai. Nabi Musa came back from Mount Sinai, he came back, he saw the children of Israel worshipping the calf. What were they worshipping? The calf, the statue, they were worshipping it. When he saw this, do you know what he did? He went towards his brother Harun and pulled him by the beard. Quran says, لا تأخذ بلحيتي, do not pull me by my beard. He pulled him by his beard. Some people ask, isn't pulling by the beard something haram? As in, this is a prophet of God we are talking about, who pulls the beard of his own brother in anger. Some people don't understand the culture of certain things. Yes, their relationship was under test, but there was another meaning why he pulled the beard. It happened similarly in the time of Rasulullah. What happened? One day, one of the Arabs came to see Rasulullah. His name was Urwa bin Mas'ud al-Thaqafi. This was the grandfather of Ali al-Akbar. The grandfather of who? Ali Akbar, the son of Imam al-Hussein. He was the grandfather from the mother's side. He was also the grandfather of Mukhtar, the one who avenged Karbala. Urwa bin Mas'ud al-Thaqafi one day came to see Rasulullah. He came, he entered, he pulled Rasulullah's beard, put his knee in his lap and sat down. Imagine, Rasulullah is sitting down. Urwa walks in, he pulls Rasulullah's beard, and then he puts his knee in Rasulullah's lap, and then he sits down. His nephew, Mughira bin Shu'bah, was sitting down. Mughira looked at him and he said to him, Urwa, what are you doing? How dare you pull the beard of Rasulullah like this? Urwa replied by saying that I have not pulled in any way. This is the way we greet somebody, because the Arabs had their own ways. Rasulullah turned around to Mughira, he said, Mughira, remain quiet. Remain quiet. Your uncle, his tribe, their way of greeting somebody is to pull somebody by the beard. Nabi Musa and Nabi Harun, why did he pull him by his beard? He was telling him, come here near me. I need to speak with you on this issue as a matter of privacy. Because Nabi Musa was affected. For goodness sake, these people had just been saved by Allah. They'd just been saved. Allah saved them from